Let's bring in our business editor, Ross Greenwood now. Ross, as predicted, it's not quite what the unions wanted, but it's not what the business groups wanted either.
No, it pretty much sits right in the middle, although it is just a touch above where economists had their consensus forecast of 3.5%. So 3.75% is what the Fair Work Commission has come out. And as you've heard there, it broadly will affect the wages of around a quarter of Australian workers. Now, that works out to about 3.5 million people in Australia that will be either directly or indirectly affected by this. There's one other aspect of this, and that is that the minimum wage as a result, and quick bit of back of the envelope calculations, the minimum wage will go to $24.10 per hour as a result of this decision today, which means that the minimum wage in Australia will sit just above $47,000 per year. Now, this is obviously in line with where wages expectations, you just heard, are likely to be this year. And so from that point of view, it's not likely that there's going to be an enormous amount of pressure put back onto the Reserve Bank in regards to interest rates as a result of this decision.
This is from July 1 as well, so this will come into effect pretty quickly, less than a month from now. The Commissioner went to lengths to explain his and the Commission's decision today. I thought it was notable that he talked about labour productivity being no higher than it was 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's so true. And this is one of the big issues that's keeping our interest rates in Australia higher than anticipated. And that is that there is broadly not very much productivity growth. So in other words, even though workers might actually be working as hard as they possibly can, the output or the production from Australia is no greater than what it was. The second thing he also made the observation is that real wages are still below where they were 5 years ago, notwithstanding the increase of more than 5% last year. And this increase of 3.75%, which, if you think about it, is still above where the current rate of inflation is, given the fact that the monthly inflation rate out until April was at 3.6%. So that's where it really becomes quite interesting in terms of where do wages head to in the future, and given the fact that this is really a benchmark for many other wage claims that will come into the future as well.
Yeah, that's right. One last question before I let you go, Ross, and there will be examination of this today, but the Commissioner there did go to great lengths to talk about modern awards and classifications, particularly in roles that are mostly held by women, and he said there will be a Commission-initiated proceedings to address gender undervaluation. Do you think that's significant? He said that should be sorted out by this time next year when they make their next decision on the minimum wage.
Well, it really is, and it is important too, because effectively what they're trying to work out as to whether there might be ways to be able to boost wages in areas which are predominantly filled by women. Now, given the fact also that we right now know that in most of our capital cities, having two incomes in that family is pretty much essential if you want to be owning a home and, you know, being aspirational, sending kids to school and whatever it might be that you've got. But the second thing is, given the fact that the workforce participation of women now is greater than it ever has been, partly because of that necessity, partly because, again, Australia is being better at using all of its resources. These are good things, but what you don't want is inequality in the workplace in terms of wages. And that is precisely what he's addressing there and saying that may need to be addressed. But that, of course, could come with potentially other decisions that will boost wages into the future.
Ross, thanks so much. We will see you soon.